Hi, good day. My name is Sylvia White. I'm a single mom, and I've got a couple of kids. And today's date, alright, a lot of the standard cribs that a lot of parents have nowadays, when you check underneath the mattress on the posture board, will give you the date when it was made. Many of them now are actually obsolete because they're over 10 years old. The new CSA standards tell us that we have to get rid of these cribs. But because I'm one of these people that like to recycle, I figure, why throw away something that can be reused? You never know what kind of treasures you can get out of it. So today, what I'm going to teach parents is how to turn around and take a regular standard crib and turn it into a very nice, useful and functional toddler bed. This way you'll save yourself approximately $100 and you'll have something nice for your kids that you can turn around and tell them, look, I built this myself. So stick around and watch. Here are just some of the standard tools you will probably need for this project. A good drill bit, safety glasses, as safety is definitely a must. And please wear steel toe boots if you have them. A measuring tape, possibly a hammer from time to time. Screws do get stuck. A good set of new screws to replace any old ones you might need. And some wrenches or pliers or something like this to remove any nuts or bolts like these ones, which are standardly a ½ inch, so that you can get the crib apart. Currently, as you can see right now, I do have the rails off, but it's wobbly. When I'm done this project, it'll be a very sturdy toddler's bed. Be sure when you're working with your wrench or your vice grips that you place them firmly on your objects that you're trying to remove. And not everyone knows this, but righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This will help you get off your screws, nuts, or bolts a lot easier. And once you're done this, make sure you save all your materials, because guess what? We'll be reusing a lot of these as well. If you don't happen to have washers, make sure you get a few. A lot of them are ½ inch. As you can notice though, you're probably going to see this little runner rail. It's a piece of plastic that covers your crib end. It also helps the kids when they chew so they don't ruin your bed. But it's very easily removed by putting one nail over on that end, popping your nail on the other side, or even a screwdriver, and just lifting it up. It comes off in one swift movement, and it can be reinstalled or placed back on it later after you paint your project. You'll notice that you may have a number 2 Phillips, and you'll have to use that to remove all your bits. Other people may have different bits and screws, and this is a number 2 Robertson. Or you could end up with a flathead. Now, I'm not fond of these ones because they strip so easily. So when you do go to put your bed back together, please try to stick to the newer standards. The square or the star. They're easier to maintain, they're easier to get into, and if they happen to strip, it's easier to turn around and use a hacksaw and make a new head. Okay? Your best bet is to use a multi-tool that will allow you to turn and interchange your tips. Good luck and have fun. Let's take off these pieces now. So first things first, when you do a project like this, remember to turn around and keep safety in mind, okay? I got long hair, so I'm going to put it up. Doesn't look too glamorous, but I have nobody to impress, so I don't care. Make sure you wear some good steel toe boots and have a pair of glasses, because you don't want anything in your eye. First things first, when you turn around and get ready to cut down your project, you need to get some basic standard sizes. So for instance, the standard size for a crib mattress is approximately 6 inches. Some are smaller, some are bigger. When you go to cut down this product, this is the headboard and the footboard, you want to make sure that you turn around and add that 6 inches to the total height of it, plus 2 inches clearance for underneath. As you can see, this piece that we have here right now is a fairly good piece. It's already got current markings on it. Since we want to make sure that we have at least 8 inches and 2 inches clearance on top of that, we're going to turn around and do our mark from here. When you add your 8 and 2, okay, or excuse me, your 6 and your 2, you'll get approximately 8 inches. But if you look at that, that's going to be pretty short for a bed. There's not going to be enough clearance for, say, the side rails. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and drop this down to approximately 12 inches instead. This way, it gives us enough room for a side rail so your little one doesn't roll out of bed. Okay? So, again, from here, we'll mark 1 foot, and we'll try and block this off and get ready to cut. As you notice, once you mark your board, you're going to have a very faint line. The other one is going to be a little bit more difficult to ascertain your size because there's no actual markings on it. So your best bet is just to turn around and lay it right on top of your other one. And as a template, mark your spots, especially if you have a fancy design or anything like this. And this way you'll get a good feel for what you need as a size marker. Once you've got this marked off, it should be fairly easy to go about cutting this piece too, okay? So once we've got this all marked off, we can continue on with the side rails. As you can see, we've done our marks. And before we can do our sides, we've got to figure out exactly where the side boards are going to go. These are the rails to prevent your child from rolling out. We've ascertained that we're going to cut 1 foot down from the marked line on our product. Some people will be lucky enough to get this, some won't. But if that happens, go to your flushest area, mark off a line, and make your measurements from that line. With this here in mind, what I've done is, because I went and measured a total of 6 inches for the mattress width, another 2 inches clearance, that brought it up to 8, but we added another 4 inches to make it exactly 1 foot. So what I've done is I've gone to the 1 foot mark, brought it up to the 8-inch mark. That's your 4-inch clearance for your bed itself, and then the other 6 inches right here for the mattress. So therefore, your first screw for your side bar will go here and up another total 9.5 inches, because you want to make sure you cover the bed, the mattress itself, and a little leeway for the top. 9.5 inches up, make your other mark, and your second screw should go in there. With the distance between here being approximately 3/4 of an inch, you make sure that you mark it at 3/4 of an inch. So your screw will actually go right there. Okay? Again, bring this in 3/4 of an inch, and your screw will go right there. Make sure you mark the spots, because this is where you're going to have to drill in the near future. Do the same thing to the other side, and you'll have rails for both ends. I've got a trusty little helper here. It's my 15-year-old son, Brian James, and he's going to help me out with shoring down some of the products that we're working on. Unfortunately, I don't have a fancy workshop, so I work right out of my living room. I've got a fairly good Black & Decker 13-amp circular saw. This product works really good because it does contain a laser that will help guide you while you do your cuts. You make sure that you hold it steady. Try not to jerk. Don't push the product. Let it push on its own. It will actually chew through wood and go forward all by itself. Make sure you've got enough clearance. A whole handful usually does the trick between the board and what you're cutting, because you don't want to cut your sawhorse. So what we're going to do is get ready to cut this and continue on with the rest of the project. Close your ears. Ready?
Yep.
Nice clean cut. Smells real good. As you know, before we had marked off our spots, which was equal to this. Now we've made the cut for this product, and this is our end board, okay? If you line up the product, like I said prior to today, or earlier, your marks that you made earlier today should pretty much meet up with what you did. The thing is, being that this is the end board and this is the headboard, alright, you want to make the headboard just a little bit taller for aesthetic reasons, obviously. So what we're going to do, we're going to measure down about 4 more inches. So approximately to where the holes were when your crib was together as one piece. Make sure you mark it all the way across so that when you add your line through, you're not making one little piece a little longer than the other. Now, I understand some people will not have wide gapped pieces like this one, but it's still good to turn around and mark through all the way across. This way, you know you're not going to have a wonky bed. And if anybody has a toddler that actually goes to bed without jumping on it, I can hear the choruses of, yeah, right, from a lot of parents right now. But if you do happen to have a child that's not going to jump on their bed, it's not a big deal if you have a wonky little leg once in a while. But we're going to be on the safe side. So, 4 inches across, all the way up. And you'll know you did a pretty good job if you notice that they do almost meet flush with the hole on either end. Okay, and there you go. Take your time when cutting. You don't want to lose a limb. As you notice, it's going to flop. To help you keep it balanced, turn your project a little bit. It'll actually give you a better bit of support. Pull back your gauge and start again. You're going to know if you cut your piece properly, and if it's level, if it can stand up pretty much on its own. As you can see, this one does pretty fine. So it's a level cut. That level cut will help us make sure that the bed doesn't wobble. As we said before, we were going to measure our side rail to be approximately 9.5 inches. When you turn around and go to measure this product, measure from the top part of the dowel, not the piece that holds it on, because you want this one. This part really isn't all that important yet. So on each dowel, mark 9.5 inches. Wow. I got a runaway tape here. Mark your 9.5 inches on each one, and then when you're done, cut each one individually. Make sure you take your time, because you don't want it to be all crooked when you go to put it together. We're going to cut now along each of these strips. You could use your power saw, but the problem is that sometimes it bucks back. So jigsaw is probably your best bet. I'm going to turn this one around and go forward, because it's usually easier. Line up your cut. Make sure she's square before you proceed. We're all done. That's one side. Once you've cut your piece, you're going to notice the ends are pretty messed up. It's not a big deal, because later on we're going to make sure the ends are sanded off, because the product's going to be painted. You don't want to just leave it plain white. Well, maybe you do. Who knows? If you've had a little one who's chewed on it, spit on it, and God knows what else, this one's 20 years old, you might want to wash it down. If it's secondhand, it's always a good idea to do too. But for now, we're just going to work with what we've got right now. Now, as you can see, with our product, when you got the thing on its headboard, this is going to be, as you can see from the side, the length that keeps your little one in so they don't roll out. Once it's on the posture board, okay, and its headboard in the back, it's going to be screwed in. But you don't want it all the way to the end because your little one, you know, is going to jump, climb in and out, and everything else. So what you do is determine where you want to cut this product just so that it holds your little one in and gives them a chance to climb in and out of the bed freely. For us, I think we're going to go to about here. You're focusing in on getting your bed set up together, the frame itself. Get a 1/8 bit and drill completely through the product. Make sure you use 2 holes because you want to make the product sturdy. And using some long screws, you're going to attach the ends. For this project, we're going to be using these types of screws. They're approximately 2.5 inches, and they're all-purpose basic screws. Star heads. Remember, when you're doing a project like this, always drill pilot holes. Because if you don't, it's going to make it very difficult to get through the wood. And when it's difficult, it gets frustrating. And you want this project to be fun because, hey, if it's an old crib and you mess up, you can always toss it out. Or try and recycle it some other way. Get it turned into wood chips. But in this end, we're going to try and make sure that the project gets completed and it's usable. We want something that's functional because it saves on our landfills. And now that we've got everything all sorted out and all together, the bed's all put together. Using the side rail, the second one, we've latched it on to the 1x1 boards that I had purchased separately. This here's just to short up so it's not so wobbly. Now that that's all said and done, you place in, lean it up against the wall. Your little one's going to be safe enough, they won't roll out, and you got yourself a bed. You've just saved yourself over $100. So, I hope you guys enjoyed what I did, and just remember, you never know what kind of treasures you're going to get. It just takes a little bit of imagination. Have a good day.